Hey guys, welcome to Steven Ronald Rift. So they're back with a Misfortune supplementary guide. And today we're going to be taking a look at Lethality Misfortune. So of course, you guys know that I already did the complete guide, and I believe this was the build that I gave you guys, which is of course the Stormrazor into Collector, and it's basically a crit build, right? So now we're going to take a look at a Lethality build. Now of course, Lethality is really popular as a Misfortune build as well, and I personally feel that both builds are really good in different ways, so I think this is really viable, really good as a build as well. So let's get straight into it, right? So first up, we have the Gluttonous Greaseport, the AD, and the Omnivamp. And then we have Dustblade. Dustblade, of course, is pretty much the strongest lethality item in the sense that it gives you the best stats and the most damage, right? So huge amount of AD, huge amount of armor penetration, as well as that bonus damage which can proc on your Q. So that's it does synergize with your Q in that way. So Dustblade, beautiful item for MF. Then we have Collector. Now Collector, again, it's a really good item for MF because it gives you both crit as well as armor penetration. But even the Death and Taxless passive on MF is really good because with the ulti or even the E sometimes, you can actually put them below the 5% threshold, proc Collector, and get extra kills that way. So since we're already going for all the lethality items and we're not really going into crit, we want to get Seralda's Grudge, right? Because Seralda's Grudge, aside from giving you the armor pen, it also allows you to slow enemies down, right? And that slow is going to allow you to hit your ulti more easily, it's going to allow you to hit basically everything more easily, and it's going to help you out a ton. Right, and then we have Edge of Night for the safety. Gives you a little bit more armor pen, but gives you health and gives you a shield. Just amazing stuff. And last, and to cap it off, we actually have IE. Now, IE just gives you a huge injection of AD right at the end, and also since your bounce always auto crits, at this point, this item is gonna be the best value because if you go for another lethality item here, it's just not gonna be as much damage as IE because in terms of armor pen, it's not going to be as high in the late game because everyone has high base armor as well as building armor items. So another armor pen item that you might want to replace, like let's say Collector or Dustblade with, is Serpent's Fang if the enemy team has a lot of shielding. However, I do feel that these items are just superior to Serpent's Fang, and you really only want to go for it if the enemy team has a lot of shielding, right? So runes, we have PTA. Now, First Strike it works really well as well, just to burst people down. PTA is a kind of a little bit more of a consistent option where you can proc it multiple times in a fight and just deal damage to people with your auto attack using PTA. I think that's really the main reason you take PTA is so that you don't put all your eggs into the basket of just bursting someone down instantly. That even after your initial burst, you still have some damage as these events randomly pop up. Okay. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. So here we have, of course, PTA, and then we have the Brutal, of course, for the auto attacks, and then we have Giant Slayer, obviously, generally to counter the tanky targets. It's generally the best option, unless the enemy team is entirely squishy, then the coup de grace would be better. And here we have Alacrity, because we have basically no attack speed in our build at all, and we are still an ADC that auto attacks. Bone Plague for the defensive capabilities, and of course we have Flash together with Exhaust as our summoner spells. But with all that said, let's hop into our gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at the MF gameplay. Now, I personally don't think MF is a horrible ADC anymore. I actually think she's decent, like middle of the pack. It's just that personally I don't quite enjoy playing MF all that much. I'm not sure what it is. Some like not ADC, some champions you just click with, and some you just don't. And I never really felt that MF was really like one of my favorite champions or a champion I really enjoy to play. So if you guys enjoy it, though, I do think that she is really decent. I don't think she's really good. But yeah, so here we are with a Morgana, and we're against a Neela as well as a Lissandra support, which is really weird, right? So Neela ADC, of course, is not really weird. It's just rare. But Lissandra support is definitely not very common, right? So this is a really unique opportunity that we can really kind of bully, especially because Morgana has been hitting her roots. So you can see I'm like just trying to get in as many autos as I can, because the moment Lissandra has used her spell, she really can't do anything. I guess she could auto us, but it's really not going to matter all that much. So here we get a nice bounce onto Lissandra. Lissandra is at blinking health, and Neela has just taken the fruit. So Lissandra is probably going to recall. We get a bounce onto Neela as well. Now Neela is really low as well. Lissandra completes the recall, leaving Neela alone under tower. Of course, Neela's just going to farm under tower. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go for the tower plates. Maybe we can get a plate. Doesn't look like it. Maybe one or two more autos will do the trick. Yeah, we do get one plate. So Off of the initial push, we do get a plate, so pretty huge win. Neela, for some reason, just walks up, gets caught, and gets first blooded. Lysandra just came back to lane from base and eats a whole chunk of damage again. And she flashes forward for the Morgana, but Morgana is able to root her and flash away, and we get the kill onto Lysandra as well. We even get the turret taker, and we are gonna just proc that, which is gonna give us another plate, and then we're gonna back. Now the funny thing is, this 150 gold from the tower plate actually puts me very close to getting like a collector. So actually I could have just farmed another wave and back and got collector instead of buying boots. That was actually possible, but I didn't actually realize it until after I completed my recall. So anyways, we're just gonna go for the normal route of building boots first. And yeah, so now we're back in lane and back to bouncing our bullets onto the Neela and back to harassing them. Obviously, when you play Neela, you know you're never really gonna have a good time, regardless of who is the enemy ADC. But definitely, there are some better and some worse matchups. Like if you're playing Neela, some of the worst matchups are champions like Caitlyn, like MF, who can really bully you really hard in the early game. And of course, there are some better matchups that's a lot harder to bully you. Anyway, speaking of which, we're back to auto attacking the both of them, and they are taking a bunch of damage. And me and Morgana basically are at full health. Root goes wide just by a little bit. And yeah, so pretty stock standard as of now. Here, Neela gets caught. I pop the ulti. She has to basically use everything. Uses her W, her flash, and her barrier just to survive there. As she gets caught by the Morgana root. And now this leaves Lysandra alone at level 4. Under the tower. Not even close to level 5, so we can just bash the tower for more platings. Vi's coming in for a gank as it seems. And here we are just stacking up our passive onto the Lysandra. Lina is of course back. But Olaf, who is the real surprise here, shows up and becomes a 3v3. So now we don't really want to take that fight, so we're just going to walk away. We can see Lysandra now backing just based on a little bit of vision that we got. So Neela probably is alone once again. Not level 5 yet again. So here we are just basically shoving her off the wave. She can't do anything. And here we actually are able to maybe even force down the turret, right? So it's only been like, what, 4 minutes into the game. Now Lysandra is back, unfortunately. Gets a 2-man route. However, overextends quite a bit. We kill Neela and Lysandra heals back from her passive and... not passive, from her ulti. And it's able to barely survive. So now we get rid of all the minions. We ward to make sure we don't get ganked randomly by Olaf, who is actually on his way here. I'm going to commit to the tower anyway. First tower goal is huge. So we get the first tower and he actually misses his axe. We're able to slow him down using our E, and we're able to actually escape, which is really, really huge. Now we have like more than double of Neela's goal at this point. And we're able to back and complete our Dust Blade. Actually, wait, I misspoke just now. I meant we could back and complete our Dust Blade instead of our boots. But I said, what did I say? I said Collector, right? Yeah, that wasn't it. But anyways, yeah, so here, now we are back to the lane. Click to clear the wave. Of course, because again, the most important thing is when you get a huge lead and when you take down the enemy tower early, you don't want to leave your lane without pushing out first, because then the enemy team is just going to take all of the gold from the tower plates for free, and you basically lose your entire lead. So here we notice the entire enemy team is down at the Herald, doing the Herald, and our team kind of just died to them, and Vi is, not our team, but Fiora just died there, and Vi is nowhere near. So here we're just going to solo the dragon with our support using the huge lead that we have, and we actually secured the dragon for our team, which is something I haven't done as an ADC in hundreds of games, I think. But here the enemy bot lane decides to roam mid because they obviously are not going to win against myself and Morgana, so they decide to make a play mid instead, which actually works out for them, which also resets their bounties, or especially Neela, I guess. So now I have gone mid, so hopefully my mid laner Yasuo goes top. But as we know, in Wild Rift it's kind of a 50-50 as to whether they're actually gonna swap the lane with you or they're just gonna come back. So he's just walking straight back down mid. But he's not gonna have anything to farm, right? Because I'm already taking all the minions here. So if he doesn't want to go bot, he's just left with nothing to do, right? So he's just standing there, like pretty much doing nothing, right? So now, unfortunately, sometimes you run into these situations where they don't want to go, and now he is actually going. So now that he's going, we actually don't have to go. So sometimes if they don't want to go, all you do is you go back to your lane and rotate back and forth between the lanes, you know, things like that. And here there's actually still an opportunity to take tower play. So here we have Vi covering, right? So here we want to actually force down a couple plates and, you know, increase our lead even further. Neela is going in with the ulti. I do get the exhaust. However, we essentially get one shot by Lux after Neela pulls us back in with the ulti. Huge combo by the Lux. And Lux gets another kill, maybe even another one here. Almost a triple. Flashes forward. Not able to get the kill on Morgana, which is pretty awkward. And Morgana survives on a sliver of HP.
Middle turret is under attack.
So I've respawned. I'm making my way back to the lane. Our mid lane tower getting ravaged by the enemy team goes down. And now Set is here. I don't really think he can reach me. Of course, he could flash ult me to reach me, so that is still a danger. Yeah, but here not too much is really happening. Of course, now we're in that kind of mid-game phase where there's no objectives and you're really just farming lanes. And technically, if no one fights, nothing would happen. But of course, as we know, someone is gonna fight. So we're basically just waiting for the next fight that we need to rotate to or that we need to participate in. And in the meanwhile, we're just farming waves. And ideally, we want to stay in mid so that we can easily rotate to whatever fight it is that we are needed at. So here we can see at least 3 enemies on the top side of our river. Fiora is kind of getting caught out a little bit. Vi is kind of sleeping on the job. Sees the fight breaking up but doesn't actually do anything about it. It takes a long while for her to actually come over. She's not even coming over, by the way. She's pushing in mid lane. Finally, he's making her way over to do basically nothing. Yeah, so anyways, we kind of have to retreat there. We can't really take that fight. In theory, this is a really good, not really good, but a decent team for MF to play with. Because we have like Morgana Root, we have like Vi CC and like Yasuo, you know, ulti and the things like that that we can actually combo with in terms of our ulti. But it's not really happening. The one time we got to combo with Morgana Binding was when the Neela flash and barriered her way out of danger. So nothing too effective has really been happening in terms of ultis in this particular game. But I'm playing a lot of MF, despite the fact that she's not my favorite champion. I've kind of noticed that some games you just never get a good ulti, or some games you just don't really even rely on your ulti, which is really weird because I once thought that MF was really all about her ulti, but as time went on, I really realized that MF is really all about her Q, right? Because your Q is the spell that you're spamming throughout the whole game countless number of times, and it's really where most of your damage comes from and not exactly your ulti. I mean, yep, sure, if we get a huge like 5-man ulti once in every like, I don't know, 20 games or something, like that could be huge, but the chances of really getting a huge ulti is it really requires the enemy team to make a colossal mistake for that to happen, and that doesn't happen every day. So here Yasuo is getting caught out. We try to, I don't know, trade a kill or do something to help him out, but in reality, nothing we can do. We're just getting run down as well, and we're gonna have to back off. Now Vi is on the opposite side of the map while the dragon is being done by the enemy team. And here we decide to basically just ult into the Dragon Pit. Now this is one of those situations where the enemy team is kind of in those kind of circumstances where they can't really move. I mean, they can't just all run out of Dragon Pit, but that's gonna maybe give me a free dragon. So yeah, huge ulti by us there. And here we're getting run down by the set, and either me and or Morgana is gonna die. So we have to kind of ditch Morgana and save ourselves. Now Vi comes into the fight after the fight is already over, and donates a kill to the Lux, basically. I mean, the Vi 0 and 4 is constantly on the wrong side of the map, or not where she needs to be, and yeah, just not very good in general. So here we're back to clearing waves, back to just farming. Of course, when the objective is over, it's just back to the status quo. Surprisingly, we are actually the most fed person in the game, on par with Lux. I say surprisingly because I really feel that my team has not been doing very well this game at all, and I've been kind of just farming and getting kills here and there, but I do have a ton of farm. I mean, technically speaking, Fiora is really fed as well, probably from all the split pushing she's been doing. And honestly, in terms of goal-wise, it's really only Vi that's struggling, but it just feels like a very tough game for some reason. So here the enemy team is getting into a fight. We're just gonna catch them off. Here Neela is getting caught out. We are able to auto-attack her down slowly but surely. And then we are seeing if we want to continue on the fight. We are slowly retreating, but Olaf is kind of running everybody down. There's nothing much I can do here. I get slowed by the Zeke's convergence, and there's nothing much I can really do. Now Zeke's, ironically, after the rework, it was meant for engaged supports to help their team to follow up, but really it's just being used by fighters and bruisers like Master Yi's and Olaf's of the world to slow people down and run after them. And hey, you know, it works, right? It's just a really strange way to use the item. Not strange, but it's a unique way to use the item, and people have kind of found that out, and ever since then you just have this endemic of fighters and bruisers with these you know, these Zeke's convergences running it down. So yeah, once again, there's really not much action, and this game is not too action-packed. There have been a lot of fights, but in between the fights is really just farming minions, right? It's just doing normal ADC things, just maintaining farm, right? No one's going bot to farm, so I'm going bot to farm. You know, I'm just taking mid farm and just farming everywhere, just basically just keeping my farm up. And that's really kind of half the job of an ADC. Half the job of an ADC is to maintain your farm and to ensure you have as much farm as possible, and the other half is to actually use that farm to buy items and use those items to do damage, right? So here, enemy team is missing, so I'm thinking they might be on Baron, and I don't want to actually just face check. So we do see that they are indeed on Baron, and this is a little bit of a funky situation. So Vi, not interested, just doing the red buff. Set is here to run interference as he should. So he is doing his job very well. Now here he pops the W, I'm able to sidestep the majority of it, and we're able to take him out, which gives us access to the Baron. They're doing it incredibly slowly because Neela has no damage at this point. She has only a shield bow. And here I do the same trick again, which is I ulti over the wall, and Vi actually gets the steal. So Vi finally making herself useful in this match, and we also get the kill onto the Olaf in the process. So pretty huge fight there. Here I was looking for more, right? Because I was thinking the enemy team is low, and here instead what happens is I run into the Lysandra passive, and it pops me really, and Neela is able to just do a little bit more to just get the kill on me, which is really, really unfortunate. So Neela ends up picking up the kill. And no one is really taking the Baron on our team, and my team is now just all dying. Only Vi and Morgana left alive, and we're kind of wasting valuable Baron time and a lot of tempo being lost. But on the flip side, we did get a steal on the enemy team, so I guess we can't really complain about it that much. Now Vi, I'm not sure what she's doing there. Why is she trying to steal the enemy red buff when they all are either alive or respawning? So anyway, Morgana finally takes the Baron, and of course this is going to give some of the waves the Baron buff. And here we can see enemy team is going for the Mountain Dragon. So here I'm thinking that Mountain Dragon really doesn't matter, right? Especially because number one is Mountain Dragon, number two, it's no one's soul. So here I'm thinking the best way is to just use the TX to maybe push down some towers. The main issue is that this is going to give the enemy team a free flank on us from the dragon area, right? So this is not good, right? So here you can see I'm just kind of hanging back a little bit, not overcommitting. However, Olaf kind of susses me out and finds where I am, and then two flashes over the wall to follow my flash, and I'm just getting run down by the two frontliners on the enemy team, which is not too hot at all. Now TX is just getting kind of destroyed himself. Almost down, but honestly with the Baron wave and the Baron pressure, you can see Fiora and Yasuo are both split pushing while the enemy team is distracting themselves with the TX. Now TX finally does end up despawning. And the TX did help a lot, right? Because it did allow us to push in all of the waves and to just get a lot of gold, create a lot of pressure, and was just generally, you know, really useful, right? So here now I'm respawning. I'm making my way back out onto the map. I've even gotten my merc treads now because obviously one of the main issues is Lux. I mean, honestly, there's so many problems in the enemy team, right? Getting run down by Olaf, getting one shot by Lux, getting one shot by Lysandra, who's now fed. She's 7-1 and 6 by the way, so we gave her her only death just now in the laning phase. So I'm thinking that probably AP is a lot bigger of a threat. Like, we have a 10-1 and 10 Lux and a 7-1 and 6 Lysandra, right? So AP, probably a bigger problem than AD at the moment. So I'm going for the defensive boots. So here Baron is spawning. You can see the whole enemy team is kind of around the Baron area. They're now trying to stop the Fiora, and here I get CC'd by Lysandra. I try to cleanse it away, and I'm actually escaping, but a Lysandra Q at max rage actually tags me and I end up dying, which is really, really unfortunate. I honestly thought that I would survive there because of the QSS, but unfortunately that was not the case. Now, enemy team is starting off Baron. However, Fiora and Yasuo are now knocking on the inhibitor, so I believe the enemy team actually stopped the Baron to come and stop the two split pushers, right? Now, so Baron is actually not being done right now. And instead, Yasuo is getting disposed of. Fiora is taking the Hex Gate to try to escape. And is trying to run away. The Elder Dragon is now only 20 seconds or so from spawning. And the Baron is of course still up. I'm now about to spawn soon, and I think the enemy team is going to be doing Baron right now. So here you can see Set once again zoning people off while the enemy team is doing the Baron. All 5 members of the enemy team are alive. Here's Set and Lysandra overcoming to the bottom side of the red buff. So here I'm actually going over the wall here, ulting over the wall, and I actually steal the Baron and get a kill, which is really funny. So I get the Baron here. Set is now getting caught. And he's dying to Morgana now. Olaf is now chasing, but he's getting slowed down by myself and Morgana. Lux ulti does connect, but unfortunately, she can't. Olaf can't reach, and we end up wiping the enemy team except for the Lux, and we get the Baron, which is a really, really funny situation. I even get the 800 gold shutdown on Lysandra. So insane situation there. I'm not sure how that one played out, but. Here, for some reason, Yasuo's just running at Lux, and that's not gonna work, right? Because Lux is 11, 1, and 12. Like, why are you doing that? Yasuo gets one shot, and no surprise there. And now the issue is Elder Dragon is, of course, up. We ideally want to get that, so maybe we can use Baron as a distraction and then go for Elder, but we have to be very careful because Lux is very likely just over the wall trying to steal, or just, you know, just somewhere near there. Which is why I'm checking if she's in there before I ward. And now we're going to be focusing the Elder Dragon. Now, if we get lucky, the enemy team is all just going to be distracted by the T-Hex. And trading T-Hex for Elder is okay, I guess, because we still got the Baron waves. Now, the enemy team is now making their way in. Set goes in, ults away Vi, and I'm going to have to ult the Elder here. Thankfully, Fiora gets it, because Set did an amazing job there of ulting the Vi out of the pit. And Vi could not reach in time to smite. Thankfully, Olaf did not get a smite. But here I get a triple. And if I got a quadra, I would have flashed over to try to get Penta on the Lux. Although I think that would be really difficult considering how fed Lux is and how low her cooldowns are. But with the Elder Dragon secure and with the TX still alive and still healthy, in fact, looks like it's gonna be a win for us right here and right now. So really kind of exciting game. We're pretty much behind the entire game, but we did manage to pull through in the end with 2 Baron steals, and yeah, it was a pretty wacky match. But as usual, I'm going to leave you guys with the stats. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.